some advice that I got about 15 years ago when I was a director. And I've been thinking about this topic a lot lately because I've gotten a number of questions on imposter syndrome. And here's the thing, the advice that I got, I might not have been ready for it at the time, but it was very timely in terms of my life and my career. And the advice was this: you don't have enough operations experience to go further. You need to see the whole picture. So don't worry about the title. Go get the experience. And at the time I was thinking, how can you say don't worry about the title? Everybody's very busy looking at your job title and the progressions in your career and that trek upward, if you will. And what about my salary, right? How am I going to feed my family? I set all that aside for a minute and I thought about the intention behind the message. And all these years later, I look back at that as something that was very pivotal in terms of my career. And here's what I mean. Set coffee down and we'll keep going. So here's the thing. As I look back in my career and I look at from that moment forward, as well as the years prior to that moment, I've come to realize that very often when you are chasing a title, you will eventually find a manager who will give you that title. And then another manager that'll give you the next title, and so on and so forth. But the practice of chasing after a title will generally follow this route. What do I need to do in order to get that promotion, to get that title? And it's a very title focused or title centric approach. And there can be some upsides to this, but when you're focused on getting a particular title, you're not looking at the whole space of the company. You're not looking at the whole value of you as a person. You're saying, what are the only things that I need to focus on, do, learn, behave, act like, maneuver, manipulate to get title X? So I want to offer a different approach. And this is the don't worry about the title. The title will come if you take care of these other things and you'll be greater for it. And I feel really passionate about this topic actually because when I have seen certain people get promoted beyond, say, their actual real capabilities because they were shooting for a title, generally they struggle to do a great job and their teams struggle to make great headway, and they struggle with overall credibility. And so this is why when I got lots of questions about imposter syndrome over the last month or so, I was thinking about how do I approach imposter syndrome. So this video is an imposter syndrome, but it's a lead in to where I'm heading with imposter syndrome. So if you step back and you think, how do I add value to an organization? What are the skills that I need to fundamentally collect to add value in the thing that the organization is trying to achieve in a space that resonates with me? So if we unpack that a little bit, and I did a previous video, I'll leave a link on kind of the value add bit. But if you think about, hey, the organization is going directionally here. I enjoy doing X. How do I take what I enjoy doing and where the company is going, and what are some of the additional skills that I'm interested in learning that would add a lot of value to the organization that I can really help take what I love doing and where the company's going and do that. And here's what will happen when you don't worry about the title. You will get offered things. So I never, again, hindsight's 2020, but I have never in my entire career asked for a title. I have always, how can I say this? Because I want to be really, really accurate. It's not that I haven't cared about the title that I have. I just prioritized the value add, and then the title was offered as a reward essentially for the work done, for the progress made, for the outcomes and the results towards an aspirational big picture. And so my advice, or the advice that I got so long ago that I see now is ever relevant as the workplace and corporations massively change, and that trajectory is Moore's law is just increasing at a really fast pace right now in terms of change and volume, is in order to stand out and really be promoted, you want to not focus on the promotion itself or the title so much as what is the value that I'm contributing, and is it making me somebody that that this organization or many other organizations would want to hire or have work for them in the future, where my value is adequately compensated. There was a study, I don't have the stats, but I'll say it anyway because I think it's on topic. There was a study done a few years ago, and there were hundreds of people that were offered either a title or a monetary raise, and you could have either or, but you couldn't have both. And it was something like 90% thereabouts chose a title over the money. And so if I think about title, it becomes like this status symbol. And so if you chase a title, you are chasing a status symbol. And if that's what you're after, here's what I would say. You're going to reach a point where you hold a title with lots of other people and you are extremely mediocre. Whereas everybody else around you is going to feel like they have a lot more oomph, and they're going to get lots of things that you haven't gotten. And I have had people come to me and ask me, or people that reported to me that were on my team, they say, oh, how do I get promoted? And here's what I say to that. And I've said it in the past and I'll say it now. If you're asking me how you get promoted, you're not ready to be promoted, because you are in that statement not asking how you can contribute to making the organization better towards getting towards the outcome. You're taking a very selfish view around, I want something, rather than I'm going to contribute something and I'm going to expect payment in kind, in whatever form that takes. And the challenge with that is, I don't believe anybody should be promoted if they are chasing a level of mediocrity. So for me, I equate, and I'm sure this is controversial, so leave a comment with your thoughts. I believe that if you are chasing a title, that you are a mediocre player when it comes to business. If you are chasing value add, high contribution, pushing outcomes as fast as possible with your unique skill set, and then you get a title, you are a very, very high value player with that title, and that is transferable. So I will do a follow-up on this around imposter syndrome, but depending on these two, depending on kind of where you are and where you sit, start thinking about how that might breed imposter syndrome. All right, that's it from me today. Thank you. Bye.